Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of The Points of Articulation. My name's Dave and if you're new to the channel, welcome. Today I'm looking at the Hot Wheels Star Wars Metallic U-Wing Starfighter released in 2016. This ship was first seen in Rogue One, a Star Wars story released in 2016. For those who don't know about the U-Wing Starfighter, it was used during the Rebellion and it was used as a support craft or a gunship. It featured 2 laser cannons in the front, and then it had the ability to have 2 ion blasters. Now, if you saw Rogue One, you noticed that when the sliding doors open on the bottom of the craft, you had that monkey-looking alien just on that ion blaster, destroying everything. I think he even took out a walker, if memory serves me correct. This is awesome, and if you go back to my original review of the U-Wing, I related it to like a helicopter in Vietnam. That's what it reminds me of. It was a troop carrier. It had weapons. It was pretty awesome. And the fact that it has S-foils and the wings could open, awesome. Great looking ship. Now, this support craft was not only used by the Rebel Alliance in Rogue One, but other Rebel subgroups such as Saw Gerrera's Partisans, as we saw in the Rebel show. And yes, it had that awesome black and white paint scheme, looking cool. Now, a little about this model. This is actually a more rarer piece because of its paint scheme, and we'll have some size comparisons later on, but if you're looking for this piece, you can only find it in the Hot Wheels Starships Heroes and Villains Starships 11 pack, which also features a metallic painted TIE Striker, which I reviewed previously. I think if you're a collector of the line, it is worth it because look at the paint scheme here. To me, this looks awesome, and when I compare it to the original release, you'll see what I'm talking about. So for the size of this particular model, we're looking at about 3 3/4 inches or just under 9.5 centimeters long, which is very nice. So if you're new to my channel, what I like to do is go over the mold, see all the main sections, zoom in, show everybody at home what we're really paying for, then we'll look at the paint, put it on a stand, compare it to other pieces, and then we'll be done. So let's get started. Alright, so let's kick this video off looking at the mold. Like in all my videos, I will go over all the major sections, and then we'll get a nice close-up look to see those fine details. So let's begin in the front here. We have our laser cannons, which look really neat. We have our cockpit, main reactor, right where the circle is there. In the aft, we have our radiator fins. Looking dope. We have right here the thrusters of our engines, which look sharp. And speaking of engines, we have 4 of them. There's the intakes, similar to an X-Wing, but that's because in the universe of Star Wars, they're made by the same company, which is pretty cool. Then we have our wings. And yes, they do have S-foils, so let's take a look at that. So looking at the S-foils, we have connectors in between each engine. Take your wings and glide them back like so. And just like that, you are good to go. Pretty sharp. I love how the wings can open. Really cool touch. On the bottom of the craft, we have 3 rivets holding it together. Copyright crap, peg port for the stand. And on the sides, we have our entryways or entry ramps. These doors slide like a minivan, and then you can have a gunner back here or troops that can run out. And there's a located on both sides. And then in the front, it's not really molded too well, but all this should be windows, which is a pretty cool touch. I wish it was molded like that. But all in all, a nicely done rendition of the Rebel U-Wing Starfighter. So now let's get a closer look. Alright, having a closer look, we'll begin with the bottom of the vessel, and we'll work our way to the back. Now it's a little hard to see because the paint here and the plastic has tons of metallic particles in there, or glitter if you will. And it is everywhere. You can see it sparkle on the dark gray, the silver. So it makes it a little hard to see the detailing, but it is there. So just bear with me. But right here on the wings, we do have some nice line work and paneling. which is really nice. I really like these parts here, which look pretty good. And then it connects to the main body. For the main body on the bottom, you have some nice mold in here. Again, this should be windows, but maybe they didn't have that information, so nothing's molded or even painted. But pretty cool looking. I love the angles here. We have our copyright crap, peg port for the stand, our 3 rivets, our radiator fins in the back, which look good. Then right here, we have our sliding door, which looks pretty cool. It's nicely molded. We have a little window right here. Pretty nice. And that's the same for this side, which looks pretty cool. Now for the sides of the wings, we do have a lot of little line work, which is nice. It's the same for this side. And on the tops, and also interiors. And if I open the wing, you can see that the line work goes all the way, which is nice. And that's the same for both sides. So on the top, you can see the line work and paneling continue. And it looks great. Very nice. I like this area here. Look at all those fin lines. That's awesome. Pretty nice. And then right here on the main body, on the dorsal section, we have some great mold in here. I love the paneling. And if you take away this section here and this section, it sort of looks like a Y-wing cockpit. You can see all the lines. The windows are recessed in a little bit, which is nice. More panel lines and molding. Coming back to the engine section. Look at all that. Fantastic work. I really like this quite a bit. Coming to the aft, you can see some nice molding. Nothing really here because of the gimmick, but they did give us the radiator fins, so that's cool. And before we get to our engines, we have our laser cannons and this nice little molded bit right here above my thumb. You can see that, pretty cool. Laser cannons are a little thick, but it works. I like it. Not exactly accurate, but it gets the job done. Now for our engines, we have our intakes in the front, thrusters in the back, and you can see some beautiful mold in here. Just look at all that. They really did a fantastic job on here. It might not be 100% accurate, but it gets the job done. And you can see little hoses or pipes right here in the bottom and top. Looking very nice. And on the engine, you can see all the detailing starts at the top and goes all the way around to the bottom. And that's the same for this side over here. And again, going all the way around. Oops, sorry about that. But pretty nice. Now for the thruster section, like I mentioned, you can see these little hoses, which is nice. And then in the back, it's not recessed in or anything. It just rounded off. Like I said, it is what it is. It's a nice model, it's just not 100% accurate. And then for one of my favorite pieces, the intakes. And I think they came out pretty good. All in all, a fantastic looking vessel. And that's everything I have to say about the mold. Hopefully I covered everything. All in all, this is a nicely done ship. So now let's take a look at the paint. And now looking at the paint on the Hot Wheels Star Wars Metallic U-Wing Starfighter, this bad boy has about 5 different colors on it. The first color up is a nice metallic silver. It's the main color on the ship. Then we have metallic dark gray, blue, yellow, and finally some glossy black for all the windows. To be honest, as much as a fan I am of the original release, I do think I prefer this paint scheme. To me, for some reason, it just seems more visually appealing. But to each his own, what do you guys think? And that's everything I have to say about the mold as well as the paint. So now let's put this bad boy on a stand, compare it to some other pieces, and then we'll be done. And just like other Hot Wheels vessels, you get a cool translucent stand, grab your ship, get your pylon, peg the stand connector into the port, hear that click, and just like that everybody, you are good to go. And now for a quick size comparison with the metallic U-Wing Starfighter seen in the center. First, on the right hand side, we have the Hot Wheels regular release of the U-Wing, which is the same exact model, just painted differently. And then on the left hand side, we have the Takara Tomy version, which is an amazing model if you could get your hands on this, and I believe a little more accurate than the Hot Wheels version, but really cool ships all around. And for those who are wondering, we have the standard release on the right, and a metallic version on the left, and you can see the paint differences there. I for one like the silver, but the original's not bad either. Let's see the bottoms. You can see even the gray is metallic, which is pretty cool. They're the same exact model, but really nice. Which one do you guys prefer? And for another size comparison with a metallic U-Wing on the right hand side, on the left hand side we have the metallic TIE Striker. Now these two come together in the 11 pack, and do I think it's worth all the money? As a collector of the line, yes. Some may disagree, but I love the paint job on here. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. And for an added bonus with the metallic U-Wing Starfighter in the center, I have it next to not one, but 2 Hot Wheels Mon Calamari ships. And that does it today for my review of the Hot Wheels Star Wars Metallic U-Wing Starfighter, released in 2016. Now, there's no lying to all of you, we've seen this ship before. It may not be 100% accurate to the on-screen version of the vessel, but Hot Wheels did a decent job for what materials they had. I specifically love the mold where it counts. The plating on the hull, the engines, they look fantastic, and the fact that we have movable S-foils, or the wings, is a great touch. Now for the paint, that is the star of the show. What we have here is metallic versions of silver, dark gray, blue, yellow, and glossy black, and they really work together to make this rarer piece really shine. Now back in the day when these were mass released, I always loved the idea of finding those mirrored gold plated versions. They're probably just paint, it's not real gold, but they looked amazing. The fact that these particular versions, the U-Wing and the TIE Striker, just had metallic paint, I'm gonna go off on a limb and say I prefer these over the shiny gold versions. These keep the aesthetic of what they are, they just enhance the paint a little bit, and for me as a collector, I dig them. Granted, the mirrored gold versions are awesome as well in their own way, but for these versions, I like it. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. Now before I go, I do have to say this. Out of the whole 3-inch Hot Wheels collection, the only pieces I am missing at the moment is the Inquisitor TIE Fighter, the ARC 170, and a couple of the repainted versions of ships that have battle damage, such as the TIE Striker, the U-Wing, and I believe there's a couple TIE Fighters and X-Wings that also have battle damage. I may be wrong on that. So for right now, until I can find a way to get those, I'm basically done with the whole line. I've reviewed almost every single piece that's come out. I do plan on revisiting some of my older videos to showcase the nice quality with a higher HD image. So if any of you out there want to see re-reviews of some of my older videos for the Hot Wheels collection, please let me know in the comments below and I will try my best to get to all of them. So that's basically everything I have to say on the subject of 3-inch Star Wars Hot Wheels ships and this video. I really enjoyed reviewing these 3-inch Hot Wheels vessels. It really brought me back to the first couple of years of my channel, and hopefully I'll get to some more in the future. But for now, let's move on to the Starships Select line, which, at the time of filming this, I have them all, so I have a lot of work to do. Thank you so much for watching today's video. I really hope you enjoyed. If you did, smash that like button, and if you'd like to see new videos every week, subscribe. To all of you out there who take time out of your hectic schedules to watch my content, you guys don't know how much I really appreciate every single one of you. So thank you so much, and hope to see you next time. Bye, everybody!